Hello YouTube, Jonathan800 here. Today I will be showing off basically your basics to Navy. So before we start actually, Equestria War have 1,000 subs. Alright, with that over, so you may be looking at this and you're like, what do I do? Simply do this with your Navy because you want to group them up and bring them to a nice central location. So that is how you combine a Navy very quickly. So in the meantime, as all the ships are going in, I'll show you my designs for what I think your ship should be. Carriers, you should have at most 4 of them in a task force, otherwise you'll get penalties. And this is my carrier. You sometimes don't need secondaries, radar, or anti-air. Actually, you do need anti-air because these get targeted by planes more. And I always like a good carrier. Turned off AI too. You got your battleships. Here's how expensive mine is. It takes a couple years to make. You could theoretically put max guns on these. I personally do not, because it'll just make them too expensive. I like to make cheaper of everything. Here's my heavy cruiser. The reason I put max guns on it is because they're basically substituting your battleships and you want them to be as close to battleships as possible. I currently have 2 light cruiser designs. This is the ones I actually like that have a bit of anti-air sprinkled in. Sometimes you won't be able to use dual purpose because you're not America, France, or the UK. So you would just fall back to something like this, change this out for regular secondaries. So the reason they're like this is these are screens. Your light cruisers and destroyers, these are your screens. These will pretty much mostly attack each other. And this is what light attack attacks. And basically by having a ship like this or this, you completely evaporate the other people's screens. So this is the meta destroyer, the one that's pretty much nothing. You would just pump these out and these will take up all the blows for your capitals basically, because they also deal with torpedoes. This is a destroyer I like personally. Has a tiny bit of anti-air, mostly torpedoes. These will actually attack and damage capital ships, which are your carriers, battleships, and heavy cruisers. Otherwise, that's pretty much what I think is your optimal ship design for destroyers, but everyone else says it's these guys, but seeing a bunch of sunk destroyers in the ocean is like, meh. So what you can now do is press G. So we have a death stack. This is what many people like to make, even I do. But this isn't necessarily effective. This is a better death stack. Never have your submarines with your surface fleet. What I did there was right click all submarines and put the subs away. You can press D to split. You usually want your submarines to be split up decently well. Now you have a death stack. You can also, if you want to make multiple stacks, what I did was distribute ships into balanced task forces and then merge them up based on where I'm gonna go. So this usually would be my Pacific, this will be my Atlantic. Right click up there, and these are my 2 task forces, and the ship count may be small, but they will increase with time, and then I always like to do that. So basically that is Navy down. We can go into techs. So this is basically all of your research. I have improved destroyers a bit more. You also got super heavy battleships. These actually perform quite decently well, but they are extremely expensive to make. So this allows you to see subs. This makes you retreat more. You can research this one in 1936. Very important, very useful. Destroyers, anti-sub, your cruisers, self-explanatory. This is with man-to-guns. Without it, everything is quite simple. You get base stats based on what ship you own. Naval support. US, UK, and France starts with this tech researched instantly in 1936. These improve your light caliber guns, medium caliber guns, heavy caliber guns, torpedoes, their hit chances. These are pretty decent. This gives you more attack. This makes it where your ships won't receive the HMS Hood treatment. You have to research this to do naval invasions. These are your transports, and with each one you can get more. Or you can simply go Grand Battle Plan and do Tip of the Spear. This is also how you can increase your naval invasion capacity, is with Tip of the Spear. So, you have your ships. They're all good. Let's say they're all at the castle. What do these do? Naval exercises. This will build up your experience. Shift K will make it where they will cancel when they hit fully trained. K will just be continuous exercise giving you XP. Patrol. What I did was click the mission, right click. So, when you do a patrol, it will try to find any fleets in the area. This is best done with ships with float planes. Mostly float planes, some radar, but your ships will eventually find something. Strike Force is what you usually set your main battle fleet to. This will give you your naval superiority unless it is countered. They will go only 3 sea zones away, so sea zone 1 because the port is on this side, 2, 3, but not 4. You got convoy raiding. These can be done with any ship for the most part, especially subs. Subs are pretty good at it. The reason it's red is because no ship is actually out at sea at the moment. So if I let them, there we go. This is what you usually like to do. This will destroy enemy convoys and troop transports. And to deal with it, you can convoy escort. Some ships are better at others. You usually want high sub detection. That's why you have destroyers with anti-sub and sonar. That's why I also tend to put sonar on my cruisers instead of radar, is so we can get that sub detection. Then you have naval invasion support. This is Strike Force, but when the naval invasion activates, the ships will follow. Now let's go to the brief montage of me, well, not montage, quick time lapse of me invading the UK. A classic way to invade the UK is from Wilhelmshaven to Hull. You can even do it in the English Channel if you have enough ships. But what is enough ships? I would say that to get brief naval superiority, finishing the German starting lineup and spamming destroyers is a good way to get it. Because your naval superiority will be brief for the most part, it is best to get your naval invasions done as soon as possible. This is by setting 1 or 2 divisions to each tile you want to attack. With 10 divisions available, I do 4 on the port with the others on the side. You might be able to get away with 5, but be aware combat width exists and the divisions on the flank will help increase it. If you exceed combat width, troops in the invasion will not do any damage when in reserve. For my Naval Germany game you see in the background, I also built the Bismarck, a slightly modified version of my first light cruiser template, and my multi-role destroyers. This gave me good naval superiority to invade the UK. Once you land in troops, the UK will more than likely fall. Just be sure to convoy escort your troops in, or take the risk of your troops being intercepted. Thanks for watching, you know the deal, and this is Jonathan800 signing out.